Here on tonight's starting lineups, first for the York College Cardinals. And forward, 6'5" sophomore from New York City, number 1, Guillermo Hernandez. At guard, the 5'9" junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 2, Divine Chisholm. At guard, the 5'11" sophomore from Harlem, New York, number 3, Donald Conley Jr. At guard, the 6'1" senior from New York City, number 5, Ron Dublin. And at forward, the 6'4" senior from Harlem, New York, number 10, Emil Purisic. The assistant coaches of the Cardinals, Jamel Gifts, Tyrone Wilkerson, and Tommy Guerin. And the head coach in his 5th year is Hillman Adams. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineup for the second-seeded Baruch College Bearcats. At guard, a 6-foot sophomore from Eastchester, New York, number 1, Sean Donlin. At guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Jamaica, New York, number 15, Jobel Fair. At forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Queens, New York, number 21, Emil Purisic. At forward, a 6'3" senior from Houston, Texas, number 11, Adnan Bajrami. And at guard, a 6'1" senior from Brooklyn, New York, number 14, Michael Richards. The assistant coaches of the Bearcats are Tyler Page and Joshua Jenner. The associate head coach is Tamara Fridd. Head coach of Baruch in his 9th year is John Lacey. Remind everybody that we request your cooperation on supporting everyone in a positive manner. Vanity, racial, sexist comments or acts directed at officials.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the CUNYAC men's basketball semifinal here at the Arc Arena of Baruch College. Your number 2 seeded Baruch College Bearcats taking on the number 3 seeded York College Cardinals. I'm Brian Flannery, joined by Joe Stolzer here in the broadcast booth. And Joe, should be an exciting semifinal matchup here this evening.
Yeah, Brian, good to see you. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you.
Hello, Baruch Nation. You are in for a barn burner tonight. The last time these two teams met, it really came down to the final shot. York will come at you. 3-headed monster, Dublin, Headley, and Chisholm. And Baruch is really going to have to really dig in, play defensive tonight, Brian. We know what they could do offensively. But, York is going to come at you for 40 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah. York, certainly a high-energy team, and we've seen that firsthand here at the Arc Arena. So, looks like we're just about ready to get underway. York getting set up on their end quick.
Brian, also, if the fans can see, we have almost a packed house.
Yeah.
And brings back memories before, pre-pandemic when this place was rocking. And so, we're going to rock. We're going to light up the sky here in New York tonight with two teams with a lot on the line.
Absolutely, yeah, Joe, to your point. Pretty much sold-out crowd here at the Arc Arena, looking really good as far as attendance goes, and York almost ready on their end. Athletic trainer, all set. So we are just about ready to tip off here. Baruch in their home whites, going left to right on your screen. York, the visiting red, going right to left, and it's going to be Purisic and Hernandez with the tip, and Baruch actually comes away with that. Not sure that they won the tip, but fair, great positioning. So the Bearcats will start this one as Sean Donlin will take it up at the top. Swings it over to Bajrami. Back to Donlin. Donlin pulls from 3, and that one rattles out.
Yeah, Donlin's been knocking that shot down as of late, but Baruch is going to have to attack the zone with movement.
So that's a deep 3 from Dublin. Doesn't get that one to go. Rebound corralled by Bajrami, and Donlin will take things up for Baruch. So Richards swinging on the wing now to Fair. Back out top to Donlin. Swung on to Bajrami. Bajrami pump faking. Richards inside to Purisic. Purisic back out to Bajrami. Bajrami sees the lane. Drives, floater. Off glass, no good. Offensive rebound, Bajrami. Takes a lot of contact, but that one stripped by Dublin. And the York Cardinals pushing with some pace as Donald Hartley Jr. gets the layup to go. Nice looking transition set up there from the Cardinals.
Hartley, one of the 3 guys that you got to really be aware of. inside-outside threat.
So Donelon absorbing some pressure at the half court, able to advance the ball. Richards almost turns that over, but ends up going off York last, so it's going to stay with the Bearcats on the baseline.
Brian, what the Bearcats have to do, give the ball to Richards, let him go up top, and work the ball around. Spacing.
So Donelon looking for the open man. He'll find Fair. Fair from beyond the perimeter. He'll swing it off to Bajrami at the top. Now swung on to Richards. Richards going to pull from three off side iron and rebounded by Chisholm. So Chisholm will push things up for York. York once again showing some pace here. Almost a little too much pace as they nearly lose the ball. Looks like it's going to be a jump ball here. And possession's out. It will stay with York.
Watch Jamal Fair and what he brings to the table with his hustle, and he doesn't care about hitting the deck.
So York will inbound straight on to Hartley Jr. His three no good. Fair pushing up to Richards. Donelon open, but Richards makes a nice move and able to finish with the up and under move. Ties this one at 2 points apiece.
Yeah, Richards herky-jerky could get to the basket many ways, but now defensively, each possession is critical for the Bearcats.
So Chisholm's going to pull from three now. No good, but nearly offensive rebound there from Caressi.
I think of the three, Chisholm probably is the third option for hurting you with the three behind Headley and Dublin. Hartley.
So it's going to be Dublin now working on Fair. Dublin's going to pull for the long two, and he gets that one to go. Nice looking shot there.
Brian, Dublin's going to make some money overseas. He's a big-time scorer.
And speaking of Dublin, he's going to pick up a foul there in the Bearcats' end. Not sure that that's a prudent decision, where just playing a little too tight on Richards, so the Bearcats will once again inbound.
Brian, to your point, Richards is so active, he may draw things that just occurred.
Absolutely. So, Donelon and Richards working together to try to get this one past the timeline, and they do so. Bajrami in the corner now. Pump fake. Corner three. Off back iron. Offensive rebound, Donelon. He goes up, and he's fouled. Nice, strong offensive rebound by Sean Donelon, getting in there and working with the big men down low.
Sean Donelon is a John Stockton kind of player. He plays low to the ground, and he's very good at a lot of things. And he's grown, he's matured as the season's gone on. And Coach Alisi just seems to have a ton of confidence in him now.
So Donelon off on the first. But, yeah, Joe, to your point, Donelon, really big piece of this Bearcats, not only in the present but certainly in the future, as he'll be coming in on those two upperclassmen seasons going into next year.
And one of the things, Brian, that Coach Alisi's instilled into this team, whether a younger player or older, is you don't want to lose. The Bearcats coming off a 3-game losing streak. Coach Alisi, he does not like to lose, simply. So all of these players tonight, sense of urgency.
So Donelon off on the second, but Hartley Jr. commits the lane violation, so Donelon will get an extra attempt, and unfortunately doesn't get the third attempt to go. So York's going to push it up. It's going to be Chisholm with the ball. And Richards nearly comes away with the steal. Donelon diving on the floor, corralled by Hartley. Hartley posts him three, and he knocks that down.
Notice Hartley, Brian, took one dribble. You got to get up on him. One dribble, bang.
So Donald Hartley Jr. controlling things early here for York as they jump out to an early 7-2 lead. Bajrami looking to drive through the sideline. Chisholm trying to come away with the offensive foul, but the officials called a blocking foul.
Brian, the Bearcats, again, have to be a little more patient and try and get a high percentage shot.
So it's going to be corner three from Fair now. Rattles out. Corralled by Hernandez. Donald Hartley Jr. pushing the ball. He's working on Donelon and Richards, and one of the two committed a foul there. It's going to be on Donelon at the top of the key. So 7-2 York lead. Certainly not the start you want if you're the Bearcats, but they're certainly within reach as well.
Brian, we knew the York team is coming out with the foot on the gas pedal, and so Baruch has to answer that.
So Curran Dublin on the inbound. Swung around. Back to Dublin. Dublin pulls from 3. Takes some contact from Fair. He's going to get the call. So Kieran Dublin going to the line to shoot 3.
You know, this is a tall order for the Bearcats because on any level, when you're playing on a lights-out shooter, a.k.a. Steph Curry, your whole thinking is really, you're worried basically. You know, how are you going to stop this guy? So the Bearcats have to take a deep breath and just play defense.
Dublin gets the first to go. Second one off front iron, rattles in. And gets third one to go. So Dublin 3 of 3 from the line as Fair's looking for an inbounder. He'll find Donnellan. York applying some pressure, looking to trap Donnellan. Swung on to Fair. Fair looking to break down the trap. Donnellan pushing, finds Richards. Richards swung on to Purisic. Purisic driving into the paint, fades away, and no good. As that is rebounded by Hernandez, and it's going to be Dublin to push things up for York.
Purisic was where he wanted to be. It just didn't drop for him.
So Dublin pulls a very quick 3 into the shot clock. Doesn't get that one to go. Purisic's full court pass is no good, and off Fair last. So it's going to go back to the Cardinals as Baruch and Coach Alisi will talk things over. York leading 10-2 here with 16-14 remaining in the first half of this CUNYAC semifinal matchup. So just about back underway. Bearcats trailing by 8 to get things started here at the Arc Arena.
So, Brian, the way the Bearcats have to do is get a stop and have good possessions. Not 3 possessions, but 2 good possessions to get back in the game.
So Dublin working inside. Passes it off to Carisi. Stolen by Richards. Purisic able to come away with it. Nice defensive stop there by the Bearcats. And Sean Donnellan will take things up. Calling out the offense.
So they got to look inside and go inside-outside possibly.
So Bajrami working beyond the perimeter. Fair looking to drive inside. Kicks back out to Donnellan. Donnellan working inside now. Pump fake, spin around. And that one settles on the back of the rim, but doesn't get that one to go. Nice looking shot there from Donnellan, able to shake the 2 defenders closing in on him. So it's going to be Hartley now on the offensive end for York. Carisi back outside to Dublin. Dublin working on Hernandez's screen. Now dishes off to Hernandez. Hernandez driving inside, stripped by Purisic, and Fair comes away with it. So once again, a nice steal on the defensive end by the Bearcats. Let's see if they can turn that into offense.
Points in the paint.
So Bajrami pulls for the deep 3, and he gets that one to go. Adnan Bajrami.
That's your leader. That's your heart and soul. He's done it many times this year. So Bearcats need a stop and possibly another 3, and we have a game, Brian.
So Bajrami doing what he does best on the offensive end, but York looking to respond. Hartley working on Richards. Corner 3 from Dublin, and knocks that one down.
Brian, you have to do everything in your power to contest Dublin. If he gets a look at the basket, it's possible it's going in.
So Donnellan kicks it off to Bajrami in the corner. Now Fair up top. He'll pull things back up for the Bearcats. Now Donnellan. Purisic in the corner. Straightaway 3 from Fair, and he knocks that down. Jamel Fair with a nice look from Emil Purisic to answer right back.
Well, you know, Purisic is a very good passer. That's why you can go inside, outside. And Muhammad Gee is good also in passing out.
Yeah, the Bearcats front court really good at facilitating. We've seen that all year. And case in point there with Emil Purisic as Hernandez pulls the three. Offensive rebound, Carisi. Blocked by Bajrami, but another offensive rebound from Carisi. And this one's going to stay with York. A lot of traffic down low, but clearly went off the Bearcats last.
Carisi, a very good player, do-it-all player for York. Not one of their main scorers, but, tough around the basket.
So it's going to be double into inbound. He'll find Zor up top. Hand it off to Hartley Jr. Hartley Jr. pulls from three, off back iron, and it's going to be, let's see, they're going to call over the back, actually. That's going to be on Hernandez, so the Bearcats will get the ball back. Otherwise, it was deflected off fair and going to stay with York.
So, Brian, Bearcats, another basket, and they're right back in this game.
For sure, as Jack Reese touches the floor for the first time here tonight. Purisic, strong move inside, and finishes through contact. He'll go to the line for the and one opportunity. The Bearcats trailing only by 3 now, Joe.
When Purisic is at his best, he's a very active player with his arms. He can get in and out of situations and very good at drawing fouls.
So nice finish there by Emil Purisic, the CUNYAC second-team All-Star member. And he gets the free throw to go, so Bearcats trail by just 2 points.
So the defensive assignment is not that difficult. Contest these three-point shooters and watch the movement down in the paint.
So Zor working on Reese. He'll drive. And official's going to call Emil Purisic for the foul there. Did a nice job of closing off that baseline for a driving Zor, but
when Brian, to your point, when the Bearcats are at their best defensively, they close up like an elevator door and they bottle up people. And that really prevents a lot of problems for the offense.
So Muhammad Guy will check in. He'll replace Emil Purisic. We know Guy can certainly be a factor on both ends of the floor, so worth watching his minutes down the stretch here. Inbound into Carisi, working on Bajrami. Double team coming from Richards. Carisi goes baseline with the up and under, doesn't get that one to go, and Muhammad Guy comes away with the defensive board, and Jack Reese pushing things up with pace now. Bajrami kicks back out top to Reese. Jamel Fair pulls from three and knocks that down. Jamel Fair getting hot here early. It's going to be a York timeout. They're going to call 30-second timeout and talk things over as the Bearcats right back in this one, and feels like they reclaim the momentum here in this semifinal matchup.
And when Jack Reese is in the game, good things always happen.
You said it best, Joe. We'll be back in a few moments. So back underway here in the first half. 12:40 remaining. Bearcats now leading 14-13.
Brian, Coach Alisi's inserted his scrappy unit. Reese, Fair, Michael Richards, Gee. These are the scrappy guys that get their hands dirty.
Here's a corner three from Hartley. That one rattles in and out. Defensive rebound by Muhammad Guy.
Yeah, they're going to have to stop the easy shots of Hartley.
So now Jamel Fair up top. Double team coming from him after he's knocked down a few quick threes. Bajrami pulls from three, takes some contact, no call, and defensive rebound from Dublin. Full court pass for Zor. Zor going into Jack Reese, and Jack Reese comes away with the charge. We've seen him do that all throughout his Bearcats career. Certainly a hard-nosed hustle play from Jack Reese.
Well, Reese and Richards do things that just equal wins. They're not afraid to go up against bigger guys, and they really are catalysts for momentum changes.
So Jack Reese calling out the offense here for the Bearcats. Looking inside, instead he'll dish up top to Michael Richards. Richards swung on to Jamel Fair. Jamel Fair thinking about driving inside, instead he'll kick out to Reese. Reese back to Fair. Fair's gonna pull another three off back iron. Offensive rebound, Michael Richards. Richards working inside, working on the pivot, going for that layup, and nice block there by Carisi. This one's gonna stay with the Bearcats though, with 15 remaining on the shot clock.
Brian, the defensive lineman of York is asking Baruch to beat them from the outside. They're clogging up the middle. So Gee really doesn't have a lot of maneuvering room. So Bajrami, Fair, and now Cameron Burns are going to have to knock down shots from the outside.
So Burns checking in. He'll replace Michael Richards. Jack Reese in the corner. He'll look inside. Giving back out to Cameron Burns. Burns offside iron. Rebound Carisi. Dublin pushing it up. Going to Hartley. Hartley working on Reese. He'll drives. And Jack Reese draws another offensive foul out of York. So once again, getting a big stop here for the Bearcats in a tightly contested semifinal matchup.
Well, the good thing is the defense is getting into Hartley's head, and, you know, that's what you want. You want a physical aspect and you want a mental. And Jack Reese is going to get you crazy.
So Jack Reese now, he'll pull from three. Off front iron, offensive rebound, Reese. Diving on the loose ball. Looking to come away with it, and they're going to call a jump ball, but Reese took a lot of contact on that loose ball from York. Naturally, everyone going for the ball, but might have been some incidental contact.
Yeah, I don't think that that was necessary. I mean, Reese was already down.
And possession hour is going to stay with the Bearcats. So once again, Jack Reese doing whatever it takes to put his team in a position to win this one, as Michael Richards will check in for Reese.
Shout out to Jack Reese. If your family is listening at home, you should be quite proud of your son. He's an example of toughness with a capital T.
So Burns inbounds to Jamel Fair now. Fair swings off to Richards. Inside to Guy. Guy pulls the jumper off glass and no good. Rebounded by Smiley.
But that was a good shot because they freed up Gee.
Back up top to Hartley. Swung on to Dublin. Dublin looking for options. Working off the Carisi's screen. Carisi's thinking about the shot. Pump fakes. Back up top to Dublin. Dublin pulls from three. Off back iron. Rebounded Guy. Guy pushing it up for the Bearcats. Giving off to Michael Richards. Back up top to Guy. Guy's going to pull the straightaway three off back iron. Another rebound, Smiley.
Well, you know, Guy can make that shot, Brian. And if they're giving it to him.
So Prince working through the paint now. Layup no good. Corralled by Richards. Richards takes some contact as he's looking to get out of the Bearcats zone with that one. So York commits their 8th team foul.
Brian, York is trying to be aggressive underneath offensively, but the Bearcats won't have any of it.
So York within the penalty now. Michael Richards going to shoot a 1 of 1. As the Bearcats, it's been knotted up at 14-13 for quite a while now. Holding on to this lead, but would certainly love to see a few more points here through the latter end of the first half. And Richards knocks down the first. So he'll get another attempt.
One of the things, Brian, the Bearcats haven't done a lot this year is get to the foul line a lot. So tonight, if they can get to the foul line often, that's going to add to their ability to get to the basket and make outside shots.
And Michael Richards knocking down his second of 2 free throws in the 1 of 1 attempt. And we're going to have a quick sub here for the Bearcats. Double sub as Guy and Richards check out. Jack Reese and Purisic back in the game, so glad to see Jack Reese is okay. And it's going to be Dublin taking things up for York.
Now, Fair is as good a defensive player as there is, so he's on Dublin.
Carisi pulls from three, no good, and they're going to call Fair for over the back, it looks like.
Well, that's a ticky-tack foul because that ball was still up, and Fair was, had a good chance to bat it.
So it's going to be Underneath the Bearcats hoop, Dublin inbounding to Carisi. Carisi gives it off to Prince. Prince swung on to Hartley. Hartley to Dublin. Dublin working on Richards. Back up top to Hartley. Hartley deep three. Off side iron. Nice strong rebound there by Purisic. Cameron Bird's coming away with the rebound, and he's looking for options. Bajrami working on Prince. Back up top to Burns. Deflected, but corralled by Purisic. Purisic, strong move inside, but blocked by Smiley. Smiley coming away with that.
There was a lot of traffic, Brian, for Purisic.
And Dublin, nice spin move, but loses control. They're going to say it was off Jack Reese last, however. So this one will stay with York.
But that was good defense because it derailed the player going to the basket.
So Chisholm will sub in for Hartley Jr.
Bearcats need to, cause low percentage shot from York.
So Carisi working on Bajrami, no good. Jack Reese pushing things up quickly.
Bajrami's too strong for that.
Reese looking inside, giving back up top. Here's a free throw jumper from Richards. Rattles out. Purisic going for that rebound, and ball's going back to York. They're going to say it was off the Bearcats last. So still one possession game. Bearcats not necessarily able to capitalize over the last few possessions. Certainly had their opportunities.
Brian, the Bearcats are getting high percentage shots. They're just not falling.
So Chisholm will take over the point guard duties. Calling out the offense here for York. He's going to work around a Carisi screen of Jack Reese. Still working on Reese. Hop step. Kicked outside to Smiley. Smiley, deep three. No good, but offensive rebound for Carisi, and Burns had no choice but to foul for what otherwise would have been an easy layup there for Mambe Carisi.
Yeah, I think that fundamentally the Bearcats have to watch the shot and then just pivot and box their man out.
So Carisi gets the first to go.
Brian, this game is going to come down to literally the Bearcats' ability to be successful from the perimeter.
And Carisi knocks down the second. So 1 point ball game here with 8:37 remaining. Sean Donellan up top now for the Bearcats. Bajrami gives it off to Richards. Reese looking inside. Purisic, floater, gets that to go. Nice move there by Emil Purisic.
Well, Purisic took what the defense gave him in the lane. That's another option that hopefully the Bearcats could take advantage of.
So Dublin calling out the offense, has a few options there for the screen. He'll drive left. Prince driving baseline now, working on Donellan, gets that baseline layup to go. So once again, 1 point ball game. York answering all of the Bearcats' momentum and vice versa. So a lot of back and forth action here at the Arc Arena throughout this first half. Jack Reese now up top. Richards in the corner, gives it off to Bajrami. Back up top to Reese. Reese driving. Redirects to Donellan, who'll swing on to Bajrami. Bajrami back to Donellan. Reese driving baseline now, and passed out to Bajrami. Donellan looking for the three. Rims out, and Jack Reese, nice hustle play. This one's going to stay with the Bearcats. And Jack Reese can't speak enough about his effort here in this first half. Loose ball, diving into the stands, throws it off York. And this one will stay with the Bearcats.
Great offensive possession in terms of ball movement by the Bearcats. They just can't get it to go down. But Reese is putting on a clinic of what happens to players who don't do things that show up scoring-wise.
So the Bearcats looking for another option here. Bajrami driving, spin, no good on the shot. Once again, nice looking job by Adnan Bajrami, able to shake his defender on the turnaround jumper. Chisholm nearly lose the dribble there. A lot of pressure from Michael Richards in the half court. Able to advance the ball. Nice backdoor cut. As Dublin with a beautiful feed from Smiley, able to regain this lead for York, and that's just a great looking play if you're York.
Yeah, that's a little Princeton offense there. But again, Baruch has to be very aware of where everybody is.
Richards kicks it off to Jack Reese. Corner three, no good. Rebounded Smiley.
So the Bearcats have to identify, even if you're not shooting, are you cutting?
So Dublin's mid-range, no good. Smiley offensive rebound, takes some contact, no call. Purisic with the defensive rebound.
Okay, so Donovan's going to have to slow it up, and let's get some of that crisp ball movement leading to a shot.
Nice no-look feed from Reese inside to Donovan. Purisic can't get the layup to go, and he's going to pick up the foul in York's end, so that'll put Baruch in the penalty. Oh, excuse me, that one's going to stay underneath the basket of York, so not quite yet in the penalty.
Yeah, Purisic did everything but make the basket, and, a frustration foul.
So he will sub out and will be replaced by Muhammad Guy as Jack Reese applying a lot of pressure on Chisholm in the backcourt.
Remember, you don't lose anything when Guy comes in the game.
Hartley straightaway three. Offside iron. Nice rebound there from Guy. Bajrami taking things up, and Coach Alisi signaling to slow things down a bit, ensuring that the Bearcats get a quality look here on the offensive end.
Right, so they need to swing it and have some spacing.
Reese driving inside now. Looking for the outlet pass of Donovan, but picked off in the lane, and York coming away with that one.
Yeah, that was too clogged up.
So Chisholm not able to hold on to that. They're going to say it was off the Bearcats last. Not necessarily sure I saw that deflection, but.
Well, anytime York tries to penetrate, there's a hand from a Baruch defender not far behind.
So it's going to be York to inbound. Prince up top. Dublin working around a screen. Prince slowing things up for the offense here, looking for an option. Here's Chisholm. Chisholm's going to pull from three. Take some contact. Richards comes away with the rebound, and Bearcats able to get into their offense here. Richards driving a lot of pace. Layup no good, and Smiley with another big defensive rebound, making a big difference on the defensive glass here for York. Now Chisholm gives it back up top to Prince.
Shots not falling for the Bearcats, but they have to remain focused.
And looks like there's going to be a call inside. This one will likely be on Muhammad Guy. No, actually it's on Jack Reese. They're going to call him for the foul. And the seventh foul will.
Well, Reese is battling, so he's going to pick up some fouls.
So it's going to be a 1-on-1 here. Coran Dublin knocks down the first. And Dublin good on the second. So York with the 3-point lead here with 4:46 remaining. It's been a game of runs, and both teams not necessarily able to jump out into too commanding of a run, but a lot of back and forth basketball as the Bearcats look to respond. Guy double team now. Nice feed inside to Richards. Richards stripped by Dublin, and Dublin coming away with that with some pace. He'll pull for the elbow jumper and knocks that down. So nice looking possession there out of Dublin, doing it himself, taking it the distance of the floor and pulling and knocking down the elbow J.
Brian, these are two teams. If it was a heavyweight fight, they're just exchanging body blows.
So Guy, another inside feed to Richards. So the big man feeding the guard on the inside, and Michael Richards with a nice, strong lefty finish.
Both teams, Brian, are trying to figure out ways to score on their opponent. It's kind of like a surgical thing going on.
So certainly a good look there for the Bearcats as Richards comes away with the steal, gives it off to Jack Reese. Reese driving with some pace. And they're going to call a blocking foul on Chisholm, so Jack Reese going to the line to shoot two.
Brian, this is going to be a very foul-oriented game. From here on in, you can tell. And the team that makes the most foul shots might come out on top, but also how many people will remain standing, gaining fouls.
Yeah, both sides certainly have to worry about personal foul totals, given the nature of how many fouls we've seen thus far.
I think, again, because it's a heavyweight fight, I think both teams, especially Bearcats, have to remain poised and literally just take the hit and just regroup and come back again.
So Jack Reese knocks down the second. Bearcats trailing by 1, 3:44 remaining.
So the defense here for the Bearcats, again, pick up the screens and watch the cutters.
So Chisholm, nice pass to find Dublin in the corner, and Dublin knocks down the 3.
Well, Dublin had nobody near him. So that was a breakdown by the Bearcats. You can't do that on a quality shooter like that.
And definitely a credit to Prince's pass as he drove baseline. Really threaded the needle there, able to find his open teammate, and credit to Dublin knocking down that 3. But just as I say that, Adnan Bajrami answering right back.
Well, keep Baruch Nation, keep your eye on the boxing metaphor of this game.
And Bajrami, after he knocks down the 3, comes away with the steal, working the Euro, and he gets that lefty scoop layup to go.
Okay, Bearcats throwing some punches back, but how do you really get into this groove? You got to stop people now.
Yeah, huge swing there for the Bearcats, led by Bajrami, the senior out of Houston, Texas, really taking command of this game.
So they have to locate the shooters now of York.
So Hartley Jr. up top, working on Reese. Looking inside, Carisi. Carisi doubled by Guy and Bajrami. And Bajrami coming away with the rebound. So let's see if the Bearcats can capitalize here once again.
Bajrami really asserting himself. He's the leader.
Bajrami up top, swung on to Reese. Reese looking inside. Instead, he'll swing around the perimeter, Donelin. Donelin looking for options. Reese fakes, goes inside, up and under, and draws the contact. So Jack Reese doing a really nice job once again of forcing York to foul him.
And Brian, Jack Reese knows there's no tomorrow. So this is a senior leaving it out on the floor, giving you everything.
And I don't think there's too many things in college sports better than that. So Jack Reese knocks down the first as him and Bajrami, the two seniors, really making a big difference here in this first half.
Yeah, Coach Alisi, very good in-game coach, but sometimes, it doesn't work. In this case, keeping Reese in and entrusting in him. Lead your team. Great decision by Coach Alisi.
So Reese knocks down the second. Bearcats leading by 3. A defensive stop and a score would be huge. And Prince pulls a straightaway 3, doesn't touch anything. And that's going to go back to the Bearcats as the Baruch crowd letting them hear it a little bit.
Hey, Brian, York is starting to scratch their head. They're saying, hey, what happened? What happened to our mojo? Well, the team in white and blue has got the mojo now.
So Donelin up top, swung on to Richards. Richards looking inside for Guy. Bajrami working around. Takes some contact in the corner. 3 doesn't go, but he's going to go to the line and shoot 3. And then Carisi's going to get teed up. But then Bajrami's going to get teed up. So it's going to be a double tech. We'll see if those cancel each other out. Not necessarily sure what next steps are as the officiating crew will talk this over.
Brian, but we are going to see 3 shots from Bajrami, correct? Yeah, right?
I think so, Joe, but they rung him up for the tee as well, so not sure if... Let's see what the officials say here. So if I heard that correctly from the official,
setting technical fouls on red 10 and white 11, and we got a shooting foul.
Oh, 3 shots.
Also on red 10, white 11's going to shoot 3 shots.
Great.
so Bajrami will shoot 3 shots here as the technicals are offsetting. It's going to be shooting foul.
Well, Brian, this is really a result of the intensity of being in the moment and two teams really wanting to play tomorrow.
So Bajrami shooting his first of 3. Can give the Bearcats a 2-possession lead as he knocks down the first.
Bajrami, just a great career here at Baruch. A guy that could carry a team and an even better person.
So he's good on the second. Let's see if he can convert on a perfect 3 for 3 at the free throw line.
So, Brian, going into halftime, notice the swing caused by a man named Jack Reese.
And Bajrami doesn't get the third one to go. But Bearcats leading by 5 with 1:30 remaining here in the first half. Prince takes it himself. And ball kind of died on the back of the rim, but just got a nice friendly roll there for Prince, so York will take it.
We've asked the maintenance people about the WD-40, but they never made it in here.
So back up top for Donelon. Donelon pulls a 3, and Donelon gets that one to go. Nice feed and find from Michael Richards. And Sean Donelon, big 3 there to send the Bearcats.
But notice that you had to find Donelon. That meant you had to have patience.
Prince pulling from the mid-range again. Jack Reese nearly coming away with that. This one is going to stay with the Bearcats. Just a little bit of a miscue there as 3 Bearcats converge for the loose ball. Fortunately, everyone is okay, and the ball will stay with Baruch.
Now, with 50 seconds, the Bearcats, a basket going into half would be huge from a mental standpoint.
So let's see if the Bearcats can convert going into this half. Reese inside to Richards. Richards, the push shot, no good. Rebounded Mendoza Familia.
That was a great high percentage shot by Michael.
And it's going to be a York timeout here as they can basically essentially hold for one shot, 3.8 separation between the game and shot clock. So it's going to be a York timeout as they talk things over here. And we'll be back on the air in just a few moments. So it's going to be side out for York nearest the Baruch bench. 27.8 remaining. Bearcats leading 34-28 as York will look to get a few more points on the board going into this halftime of the CUNYAC semifinal matchup.
Yeah, this would be a huge stop for the Bearcats going into the locker room because of the comeback that they did.
So Prince up top. Nice defense by Donelon. Now Donelon working on Dublin, clearly forcing him left. Dublin trying to go to that right hand. Instead, he'll stick with the left, but clearly not comfortable. Corner 3 from Hartley. Takes some contact there from Richards. So not the foul you want to see. Might have been necessary foul given Hartley's success from beyond the arc here tonight and throughout the season. Certainly showing some respect there for his shooting ability as Richards commits the foul and with 6.6 remaining.
But Brian, as soon as Hartley does like that final hard dribble, just put your hand up because that means he's going up. Same thing with Dublin. When they do that final hard dribble, that means they're getting ready to elevate. So Baruch is going to have to kind of identify that going into the second half.
So Hartley good on the first two. Let's see if he can convert on all three. Again, 6.6 remaining, so the Bearcats can, if they push up with some pace, could get a decent look on the offensive end as long as they secure this defensive rebound, and they certainly will as York puts their entire defense, for the exception of Hartley Jr., back in their own end.
I would have a guy kind of in the middle of the floor getting ready to shoot.
So Richards pushing it up now. Giving back out to Bajrami. Bajrami logo three. Offside iron and no good, but Bearcats going into the half leading 34-31 here in the semifinal matchup at the Arc Arena between your Baruch College Bearcats and the York College Cardinals. We'll be back on the air in about 15 minutes for second half action, so please stay with us. So welcome back to the Arc Arena. Just about underway here for second half action as the Bearcats leading 34-31. A really closely contested first half, a lot of back and forth basketball, end-to-end action, and a lot of physicality and energy out of both teams. So should be an exciting second half and a finish in this semifinal matchup.
David, what the Bearcats have to guard against here opening the second half is when Hartley does that hard dribble, he's going to shoot, and the same thing with Dublin.
So Carisi driving, but Jamel Fair comes away with the charge. So ball's going back to the Bearcats to get things started here in the second half.
This has been literally back and forth with not a lot of room for separation.
So Bajrami swung over to Fair. Fair inside to Richards. Richards looking for options. Fair, nice cut, jump float, and that one rattles out, rebounded by Hernandez.
Well, that was a high percentage shot, which is what the Bearcats want.
So Chisholm working on Donovan now. He's looking baseline. Nice defense, Donovan. Bajrami getting in there. Loose ball, handled by Carisi. Now Hartley getting into the paint. Finds Hernandez, and beautiful feed there from Donald Hartley Jr.
Well, Hernandez hasn't been heard from, but he's capable as a post player.
As that's a strong finish there out of Hernandez. Now Donovan at the top. Bajrami kicks over to Fair. Back up top for Bajrami. Swung on to Donovan. Donovan pulls from three and knocks that down. Sean Donovan getting it done on the nice feed from Adnan Bajrami.
Well, good things happen when you make good crisp passes and you have that little patience.
And Emil Purisic, great steal there, great awareness as he takes it coast to coast and finishes through contact. So Purisic staying active on the defensive end and turning that into points.
Well, they're not letting York get into any offensive set. They're anticipating.
So now Dublin back to the basket, but nice feed to Chisholm, and Sean Donovan cutting that one off and swatting it way out of bounds.
Hey, Brian, Sean Donovan doesn't want to go home.
No, he doesn't, Joe, and that's one of the best blocks we've seen out of Donovan in his career thus far with the Bearcats, as Carisi pulls from the long two, and he gets that mid-range to go.
Well, Carisi can make that shot, but he's not one of their main offensive threats.
Richards getting inside the paint. He'll kick outside to Fair. Fair weaving through defenders, and looks like they're going to call him for the walk there. Might have moved that back pivot foot just a little too much as he was looking to drive through defenders. So ball going back to York. Bearcats leading by 4.
Yeah, Fair, if he would have crossed over, would have freed himself.
Dublin pulling from 3, and he rattles that one home.
Brian, that's too easy a look for Dublin. The Bearcats are going to have to really identify Hartley, Dublin, and Chisholm.
Nice inside feed to Richards from Bajrami, and Richards able to get the easy layup to go.
Well, that's very intelligent passing, finding your teammate.
So Bearcats offense certainly finding some easier looks here in the first 3 minutes of the second half, as the defense once again coming away with another steal. So you're seeing both sides of the Bearcats really start to click here. Now Bajrami thinking about baseline. He'll dribble back up top. He pulls from 3. Off back iron, no good, and rebounded by Hernandez, with Chisholm pushing things up here for York.
The Bearcats are very determined defensively. Look at their body language.
The free throw jumper, no good from Chisholm, rebounded by Fair. Fair's going to slow things up a bit for the Bearcats as Coach Alisi gets his offense set up.
Well, York is in his zone, so we're going to have to find open shooters.
And Hartley Jr. looking for the steal there, but they're going to call him for the foul on Richard. So it's going to be side out for the Bearcats. 16:22 remaining and 20 seconds left on the shot clock, so plenty of time for the Bearcats to get a quality look here in this possession.
Yeah, the zone is creating a fence, so let's find openings.
And Richards doesn't get the layup to go, but Emil Purisic, hands ready for the offensive board and once again, an uncontested putback for the Bearcats.
Purisic is really playing determined basketball.
So up top for Hartley Jr. Dublin coming around the screen. Pulls from the free-throw jumper, off front iron, rebound Purisic. And Purisic will kick it off to Bajrami.
They're going to have to alter Dublin and not let him set his feet.
So Donilon up top. Passes it off to Fair. Fair driving, gets to 2 feet, and knocks down the elbow jumper as the Bearcats lead 45-38 with 15:29 remaining. York's going to talk things over. It's going to be a full timeout for York, so we'll be back on the air in just a minute. So back underway here. It's going to be Dublin inbound. He'll give it off to Chisholm.
So, Brian, the Bearcats defensively have to get guys away from what they want to do. Hartley, Chisholm, and Dublin, don't let them get comfortable.
Bearcats seem to be doing a good job of that thus far. As Chisholm pulls the corner three, doesn't get that one to go, but Carisi comes away with the offensive rebound. Going to be another one here from York. This time, Hartley Jr. Loose ball. Ball on the floor. It's going to be Donilon and Hernandez tied up. And possession arrow is going with the Bearcats. So nice hustle play there by Sean Donilon, diving for that loose ball.
Donilon, Richards, and Fair are guys that will not even think twice about hitting the deck.
So Donilon walking things across the timeline for the Bearcats. Hands it off to Fair. Fair working around a Purisic screen. Now Bajrami, he's doubled. Back up top to Richards. Richards swung on to Donilon. Inside to Purisic. Purisic looking for options. He's going to take it. And nice strong finish there from Emil Purisic.
Purisic has had great body language this whole game. Determined.
Seen a lot of growth from him throughout his young Bearcat career and really able to work inside with the best of them. So really promising player for Coach Alisi's young core here, as Hernandez able to find what was a deflected ball and finishes with ease off glass, as York now trails only by 7.
Now the Bearcats have to continue to be patient and get good high percentage shots.
So Donilon going to Purisic inside, and this time gets the float to go. Nice job of positioning and awareness there by Emil Purisic, knowing that he didn't necessarily have the best angle, so just threw it and able to get the floater to go.
And Brian, great penetration by Donilon.
And speaking of Donilon there, he's going to get called for the blocking foul, so it's going to be side out Hartley Jr. to inbound in front of the Cardinals bench. And Jack Reese will check in for Donilon as he's in a little bit of foul trouble here.
So Jack Reese has got to do what Donilon did, make sure that Hartley is not in comfortable positions to shoot or penetrate.
So Chisholm working around a Carisi screen. Dribbles back up top. Dublin driving. Going back to Hartley. Hartley no-look feed inside to Carisi. Carisi doesn't get that one to go. Gets his own rebound and then falling away from the traffic, draws a foul and knocks down a fadeaway shot. So just like that, York right back in this thing as Carisi will attempt the and-one opportunity.
There's a lot of activity down in the paint, Brian, and the Bearcats have to just continue to fight and win the battle.
So Carisi knocks down that free throw. York within a two-possession game here, 13:27 remaining. Second half semifinal matchup. Jack Reese now handling the ball. Down low for Purisic. Purisic finds Richards, who's cutting. Richards tied up there, a lot of traffic, and he's going to turn it over. Stolen by Chisholm, and it's going to be Hartley Jr. pushing things up for York. Hartley Jr. going for the up and under. Looked like he was going to set up for the Euro there. Jamel Fair came inside for some contact. So much so that the officials called him. Don't know if he got a lot of Hartley or more so ball, as there seemed to be even a little bit of a tie-up there between both teams as they set up in their free throw alignment.
Brian, Hartley went through a lot to get that shot off. You might have called a travel and also a block on the part of the defense of Baruch.
Yeah, certainly not a lot of contact there. Seemed to be all ball from this angle. We had a pretty good look at it, but nonetheless, York won't complain as Hartley's able to convert on his first.
The other thing about Hartley is that the Bearcats need him to go really off balance because he keeps getting great position to either shoot or to give a ball to a teammate. You got to get him out of good position.
So Hartley off on the second. Bearcats will benefit from that. Jack Reese to take things up. Swung on to Bajrami. Bajrami thinking about the three. He'll give it off to Fair in the corner. Fair inside look for Richards. Back out top to Fair. Fair driving around. He's looking for an open teammate. Nice defensive possession here from York. Richards back in the paint. York defenders converging, and once again, too much pressure on Richards as they turn it over, unable to convert. Chisholm now driving, spin move. And he goes right into Jack Reese. Reese absorbs a lot of contact, and this one's going back to the Bearcats. Jack Reese's third charge drawn here in the semifinals.
Brian, Michael Richards has to take it easy. When he tries to get in low, it's too bottled up. The Bearcats will be successful if they take advantage or try on the perimeter. There's more room on the perimeter.
Then you'd rather see the Bearcats get more of their primary offensive options going, especially at this point of the game. A lot of Purisic, a lot of Fair, a lot of Bajrami certainly, especially from beyond the perimeter.
Yeah, Richards looks like he's open, but they're collapsing on him in the paint.
Bajrami swings it off to Reese. Reese, nice find. Purisic down low. Purisic finishing through contact. And it's going to be a delay of game maybe. Delay of game, exactly that, as Bearcats here at the Arc Arena don't necessarily have too much real estate behind the basket, but Purisic threw that one a bit too far out of bounds, so the officials called a delay of game. Bearcats leading 51-44.
Brian, I think the Bearcats have to keep calling Purisic's number. He's really in a groove.
So nice defense here again from the Bearcats as Carisi unable to get that one to go off back iron, and the long rebound from Sean Donnellan.
Bearcats have to remain in a patient mode. No hurry. Keep your eye on the clock. The clock is your friend.
So Purisic at the elbow. Richards driving baseline. Back inside to Purisic. Purisic doesn't get the left hand scoop layup to go. But he gets his own rebound, and he is fouled on the following attempt. So Emil Purisic will go to the line to shoot two.
Purisic has really emerged as the guy that, you can ride to victory possibly tonight. His body language has been great, and he's got that determined look on his face.
So Purisic good on the first. And knocks down the second. So it's going to be a timeout here from York as the Bearcats lead by 9. 11:22 remaining here in the CUNYAC semifinals at the Arc Arena. We'll be back in just a few moments. So back underway here in the second half. Bearcats leading by 9, doing a nice job of really getting their looks on both ends of the floor, giving York some trouble. So Jack Reese flying in from what looked like almost a block. However, York comes away with that one, and Donald Hartley Jr. doing what he does best, knocking down a pretty deep three there as the Bearcats nearly turn it over, but Richards finds Muhammad Guy. Guy going up for the two-handed putback, no good. They go back to Guy, and nice job by Emil Purisic following the play. And it's going to be a timeout from the Bearcats. So quick timeout from Baruch coming off York's timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll be back on the air shortly. So very quick timeout by the Bearcats in the following possession. But nice job there as Muhammad Guy was blocked, but able to finish the second go-around. Nice follow-up play from Purisic.
Now, Brian, they really have to locate Hartley.
And this time, Reese going for his fourth charge of the game. Instead, the officials will call him for the blocking foul.
Well, Chisholm, you got to watch out. He spins, so you have to, just wait a little bit. He's going to spin out of control.
So it's going to be Dublin to inbound, Swung around, Prince going to Hartley. Back to Dublin, working on Richards. Back up top to Hartley. Hartley inside the arc. Doesn't get that long to go. And Jack Reese working hard for that one. Ball batted around, goes back to York. Now swung on. Dublin, corner three. No good. Defensive rebound, Bajrami. Took some contact on the way down. No call.
This is why Coach Tamer Fareed has the Bearcats in the weight room early in the season for moments like this.
So Muhammad Guy swinging to Jack Reese. Reese goes in the corner to Richards. Back up top to Reese. Reese driving. He'll pull the free throw jumper off back iron. And Purisic nearly gets the putback to go. Corralled by Reese, and it's going to be a foul on York here. So Bearcats just super active on the offensive glass between the combination of Guy, Purisic, and even Jack Reese getting in there. So ball's going to stay with the Bearcats, and the foul, Muhammad Guy, apologies, it's going to be underneath the basket, inbound for the Bearcats. It's going to be Jack Reese.
It's Brian, Jack Reese's efforts are just, I don't have words for them. Here's a guy not of great size getting up with the big guys.
So Bajrami in the corner, back up top to Purisic. Jack Reese driving inside. He'll hand it off to Guy. Reese swinging around for Bajrami. Bajrami coming around the screen and knocks down the three. Adnan Bajrami have a night. So Bearcats leading by 11 as once again the senior leadership prevailing in this semifinal matchup. Hartley Jr. now. Corner three, that ball in and out. Devastating roll there for York as the Bearcats will look to capitalize on what could have been another three in response to the Bearcats.
If you're a Bearcat fan, you're happy that they did put some WD-40 on the rim earlier today.
So Guy working inside. Back up top to Reese. Reese thinking about the three. Instead, he'll go back to Guy. Guy unable to get the layup to go, but Purisic staying active. Comes away with the loose ball. Bajrami push shot, and he gets the floater to go. So total credit there to Emil Purisic. Once again, crashing those offensive boards. York has no answer for him. And Bajrami finding himself in the points column once again with the floating push shot.
Brian, this is by no accident. Coach Alisi brings toughness to his teams. He comes from one of the toughest leagues in America at Xaverian High School. And this is what you're seeing. The player takes on the personality of the coach.
So a lot of toughness here of the Bearcats, especially in the second half. Really able, once again, to get their looks on both ends, and especially on the offensive end. Those follow-up rebounds have been huge to extend possessions and ultimately get the Bearcats additional points, as Bajrami is going to commit the foul there.
Brian, throughout this next 8 minutes and 19 seconds, York is going to just ride Hartley and Dublin. It's no secret with throwing in a little Chisholm here and there.
So Hartley pulls from three. That one rattles out once again. Rebounded Guy. It's going to be Jack Reese to take things up.
I mean, you might as well play the old school boxing one on Hartley and Dublin.
Richards going inside. Hop step. Kicks out to Guy. Guy looking for options. Cross-court feed to Reese. Reese driving. No-look feed into Guy. Guy can't hang on to that one. And ball going back to York. It's going to be Chisholm to take things up. He's looking coast to coast. And let's see what the call is. It's going to be another blocking foul on Jack Reese. Once again, looking for that charge that's worked so well early on in that first half. I think there he just didn't get both feet set in time, but certainly got to commend that effort out of Jack Reese. Always willing to take that contact for his team.
Yeah, Brian, Jack Reese has given you everything, but sometimes you just don't get that position and you get called for a foul. But A for effort.
So Jamel Fair will check in for the Bearcats. He'll replace Jack Reese. It's going to be Divine Chisholm at the line shooting the 1 of 1 as the Bearcats are already in the penalty. Really speaks once again towards the physicality of this one.
Well, there's going to be a lot of foul line attempts, and it's who makes their foul shots, but who can remain in the game.
So Chisholm rattles home the 1 of 1, so he'll get another opportunity. Baruch doing a nice job of really extending that run and really getting a nice deficit here.
Well, again, Purisic, Brian, is playing on a high level, and Bajrami is right next to him.
So Bajrami will take things in for the Bearcats. Richards, half-court feed to Purisic. Purisic lobs it over to Guy. Guy looking for the turnaround. Doesn't get that, but kicks out to Fair. Fair pulls from the free throw line off the backboard and no good. Rebound Hernandez. Now Dublin pushing it up with pace. Dublin working on Richards. Stolen by Fair. Jamel Fair with the active hands in the lane. So he'll slow things up a bit for the Bearcats. Would rather see that and make sure they get a good look here.
The Bearcats have to be patient on offense with the clock.
So inside feed to Purisic. Purisic looking for Guy. Not a lot of room to operate, and Guy is blocked by Smiley. And once York came away with the ball, it looked like Guy committed the foul. It's going to be looks like a blocking foul there. So it's going to be Karan Dublin going to the line.
Brian, that Baruch is getting into trouble when they try and penetrate too deep. If they kick it out, their perimeter shooters are standing ready to shoot.
Yeah, just not enough room to operate down there, especially trying to make a pass like that. At that point, that deep into the paint, you're probably better off taking it yourself.
Yeah.
Especially with the defense crashing down there. So Dublin once again at the line. And gets the first one to go.
So the York for the next 7 minutes and 2 seconds, it's no secret. It's going to be Dublin. We've mentioned it all night. Dublin, Hartley, and Chisholm that are going to take them to the finish line on their end. So Baruch has to counter.
So York coming with an aggressive trap, looking to catch Donald in the corner there. Here's Purisic. No good, but Adnan Bajrami. Yes, sir. Finishing that with authority on the putback slam. And no good there is the loose ball corralled by Hartley Jr., but arguably the most exciting play we've seen here at the Arc Arena this season as Bajrami comes away with the block. Ball staying with York. Hernandez, block again by Bajrami.
Brian, I'm going to say it again. Coach Tamer Fareed takes his players into the weight room for a reason. And that reason is physical toughness, mental toughness.
And they're going to call Richards there for the foul, but Adnan Bajrami, the first team CUNYAC All-Star, having an absolute night and leading his Bearcats squad here through the first 34 minutes of this matchup. Tightly contested matchup, though, so certainly going to be a matter of both sides finishing strong and really making sure that they have fresh legs on the floor, because this has been certainly a barn burner, like you called it, Joe.
Brian, the Baruch Bearcats do not want to go home. They want to play on, and they have as good as champion, chance to win the chip as anybody.
Well said, Joe, as Muhammad Guy comes away with the rebound. It's going to be Donelon in the corner. York giving him some room to operate, not coming with the full court press.
Now, there's no hurry for Donelon. Let's get a high percentage shot.
Donelon gives it off to Purisic at the baseline. Here's Bajrami from three off left iron. Offensive rebound, Richards. Inside feed to Guy, and just a little too high there as Bajrami was looking to find his center, who had hands ready down in the post.
But Baruch is in a good place offensively. They kind of get it now. What's the recipe for them?
So Bajrami giving Chisholm a little room to operate. And Sean Donelon comes away with the steal. Here's a Euro off backboard and doesn't get that to go, but he's going to go to line to shoot too. Sean Donelon getting this CUNYAC semifinal crowd
Hey, Brian,
off their feet with that steal.
That play might not take place in the regular season, but because of what's at stake tonight, the aggressiveness was what got Donelon going.
So Donelon's going to inbound here. It wasn't a shooting foul, in fact. Purisic gets that pass, kicks it off to Bajrami. Bajrami driving baseline. And he'll draw the foul, going to line to shoot two.
All those upper body exercises Bajrami has done, paying off tonight.
And Bajrami good on the first.
Now, it's only a 12-point lead, Brian. So the Bearcats, again, can't get complacent, and they're up against some very good scorers that could get their team right back in the game.
So no good on the second there from Bajrami as Chisholm comes away with it. He'll pull from the free throw jumper, and he knocks that down for York. So nice answer there by the Cardinals. As you just mentioned, Joe, now a 10-point game. And Richards nearly turns that over. And Donelon came away with the timeout. Heads-up play there by the sophomore. Errant pass and dives on the loose ball, not before York came crashing down on him. So heads-up play there by Donelon to call a timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout as the Bearcats talk things over momentarily. Excuse me, it's a full timeout, so we'll be back on the air in about a minute. So back underway. It's going to be side out for the Bearcats in their own end. Bajrami talking over with the official, making sure he has enough room to operate. Now York's going to come with the press for Donovan. Swung off to Bajrami. Bajrami dribbling it nearly past the timeline, giving back to Donovan. Purisic now inside to Guy, and Guy doesn't get the layup to go. Ball tied up, and it's going to go back to York.
Well, you could question the fact that that was too quick a possession for the Bearcats, Brian. Bearcats have to watch the clock. The clock is their ally.
Yeah, especially down the stretch here, Joe. Unfortunately for the Bearcats there, easy look that they're unable to convert on as Dublin pulls a straightaway three. No good. Rebound Bajrami.
Well, he had an awfully good look at that.
Richards looking for options. He's driving on Chisholm. Gets inside the paint. Kicks outside to Guy. Guy from three. Knocks it down. Muhammad Guy. Showing off the range there from the big man.
Well, you know, Guy has been unbelievable as a sixth man all year, and that's just another dimension for him, knocking down a three.
And, Joe, not to mention, especially off the missed layup, to come back and knock down a three after that possession. Certainly a lot of heart there from Muhammad Guy as this ball tied up a bit, and now Carisi dives on that one, and it's going to be a timeout for York. So York will talk things over. A little bit of a necessary timeout going for that loose ball. And
yeah, tempers are flaring, Brian.
Yeah, they certainly are, Joe. It's going to be a full timeout here for the Cardinals as both sides will take their respective benches, and we will be back on the air in about a minute. So York to inbound right in front of their bench and the broadcast booth. Bearcats leading by 13 with 4:30 remaining, but York looking to string together a comeback here, enough to make this a close game down the stretch. Let's see if the Bearcats defense holds up here on this possession.
Yeah, the Bearcats body language won't have any of it.
And just as I mentioned, the Bearcats defense holding strong as they come away with the steal. Loose ball. Corralled by Donovan. Smart play to dribble back up top.
Yeah, 24 seconds on the shot clock. Donovan needs to bring it out. Let's get a good shot.
And Donovan able to weave through defenders and gets the layup to go off glass. Sean Donovan, great strong play and nice awareness just to know that he had the room to operate and get that shot off. So, Karan Dublin answering right back.
Well, we know York is going to answer with their three.
Bajrami able to break down the press. Guy comes away with it.
Brian, the clock is the ally now for the Bearcats.
Now Donovan up top for Baruch. He'll swing it off to Richards. Richards dribbling around a Purisic screen. He'll dribble it back up top. Cuts through defenders, and he's fouled. Looks like it's going to be on the floor, so it's going to be underneath the basket for the Bearcats.
York is in desperation mode now, Brian.
Actually, apologies with that. With the Bearcats being in the penalty, York being in the penalty, it's going to be Michael Richards at the line. So the Bearcats can look to extend this 13-point lead with 3:26 remaining.
Yeah, the toughness of Baruch is the story of today's game.
So Richards doesn't get the 1-of-1 to go, and it's going to be rebounded by Carisi. Dublin pushing it down the court. Spin move there on Richards, and nice inside move to go with the layup there by Dublin. He takes a lot of contact, doesn't get the finish, but he's going to go to the line to shoot 2 on the shooting foul.
And, Brian, it didn't take a lot of time off the clock.
No, you can clearly see the urgency. York knows the game situation here naturally. Down 13, just a little over 3 minutes remaining. So every look that they get off, it's going to have to be with some pace. They don't have the luxury of time on their side. However, Dublin knocks down the first.
Hey, Brian, when Richard Hamilton was in the NBA, he made it an art to get up the court quickly to get a shot off. It was part of his workout. So a lot of these outright scorers, they could get up the court in a hurry and get a quality shot off. It's different than old school.
So Dublin knocks down both. And just like that, York within 11 as they bring the press once again. They got Donald in the corner. He gives it off to Richards. Back to Donald. Donald's going to dribble it a bit. Half-court pass to Purisic. And Bearcats able to break down the press as Richards will slow it up a bit, wait for Elise's offense. And he's dribbling now. He'll go left. Nice spin move. And the bank shot goes for Michael Richards. Really nice job of shaking his defender with the spin move. Turnaround jumper off glass is good. So Bearcats leading by 13 again, 70-57.
Mike Richards playing at a high level.
Dublin driving now. Looking inside for Carisi.
Hernandez has been quiet tonight, Brian.
So Hernandez gets that free throw jumper to go as York once again coming with that trap. Fair able to break it down. Bajrami dribbling it up top. Clearly wants to chip into this shot clock possession a little bit deeper, which right move at this point in the game. Now Donaldin working on Hartley Jr. Donaldin inside the paint. Finds Purisic going inside. And Emil Purisic gets that to go. Nice strong move.
Well, that might have been the clincher there, Brian. 2:08 left.
And that, yeah, to your point, Joe. So officials and York bench, York coaching staff on the floor want an explanation here, so not exactly sure what's going on. So once again, from the officials talking over with the official scorer, looks like we have an offsetting technical foul on both sides here.
We have offsetting technical fouls at the basket. On Baruch, number 21. His fourth personal foul.
So to confirm offsetting technical fouls here. So it's going to be on Purisic and Hernandez, but I don't think anything will come of it due to the offset. So both sides can't be too upset about that one. Especially at this point in the game, Joe, where York's chasing a pretty sizable deficit with not a lot of time to operate.
Well, frustration, Brian, has already set in for York. They can see the scoreboard. It might be a little too late. And out of frustration is going to come some not so, sportsmanship kind of play.
So it's going to be York to inbound. Nothing to come out of those offsetting techs. And Cardinals trailing by 13, 2:08 remaining, and Dublin's going to let the ball roll up to just nearly about half the timeline here. So Chisholm looking for some options. Smiley cutting layup, no good. Kicked out to Hartley Jr. in the corner for the three. Doesn't touch rim. And Fair corrals the rebound, absorbs some contact going for that loose ball. So Jamel Fair is going to go to the line and shoot 2 as the Bearcats are within the bonus.
Smart play by Fair, positioning his body. And I want to shout out to Jamal Fair. All season, he has been both offensively and defensively. He has been, unbelievable in sacrificing his body and also contributing on a high level offensively. So he's come on as the season has progressed.
So I think a big theme as this is Win or lose, Joe, our last broadcast here at the Arc Arena for this men's basketball season. But big theme is really this young core of the Baruch Bearcats taking a huge leap this year for Coach Alisi, whether it be Jamel Fair, Emil Purisic, Sean Donilon. And then you can't speak enough about the senior leadership of Adnan Bajrami, Michael Richards, and Jack Reese.
Well, my guy from Jersey, Jersey boy.
Of course, Cameron Burns, can't forget about him.
Cameron Burns came on, and Coach Alisi awarded him with playing time, but he responded. And he's going to be exciting both in person and for Bearcat Nation watching at home next year. Great things ahead for the Bearcats. And again, Coach Alisi, one of the better coaches around because of his attention to how to really play the game.
So Donilon gets the first to go. And yeah, Joe, to your point, this Bearcat team not only has the talent to make a playoff run this week, as they'll likely set their sights on Friday's championship matchup, which will be hosted at CCNY Friday, February 25th at 8:30 p.m. against the winner of Lehman and Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, again, great student athletes here at Baruch, whether it's the champion Bearcat baseball team, soccer team, volleyball team, swimming. Great job by the administration to set the bar. And, again, students leave, students come back. I.e. you, Brian, you were one of the best, and you've come back. And, again, examples are set and met, and it's all good.
I appreciate that, Joe, as Donilon sets up for his second attempt, and that one rattles in. So Bearcats lead 76-59.
So Baruch is going to play hard defense until the buzzer goes off. There's no taking possessions off. But right now we know who is going to take the shots for York.
Yep. And apologies, it's 75-59 here. 1:42 remaining as York's looking to string together a few offensive possessions as Chisholm pulls the long two. No good. Offensive rebound, Carisi. He gets inside and he's fouled by Purisic. So Mambe Carisi will go to the line to shoot two. And, Joe, if you want to slow down the clock, the best way to do it is at the foul line as you chip away at that deficit. So,
well, the Bearcats, this is great. It gives them a breather. And if Coach Alisi needs to, he can go to his bench now. The lead is intact, Brian. Big shout-out to Jack Reese, Purisic. Unbelievable job. And you know what, Brian? It all came from their heart tonight. It all was a heartfelt victory by the Bearcats collectively. And they don't want to go home.
No, they definitely proved that here tonight at the Arc Arena. So the Bearcats, a minute and 33 away from punching their ticket to the CUNYAC championship this Friday, as York coming with another full court press on Fair. Bajrami looking for Donilon, but he was fouled from behind by Dublin. And Joe, also want to give a big shout out to the York College Cardinals seniors who we've seen put on a great performance throughout their 4+ year careers here at the Arc Arena.
Yeah, that's a great point, Brian. Some of those guys like Dublin, they're going to, have a little career overseas professionally. And you want to see that it's good for the conference. Whenever guys make it to the next level in CUNY, it's good for the conference. It's good for recruiting. It's good for the, the level of competence of the conference. And, great job by all the CUNY team. Shout out to Medgar Evers that does a great job. A lot of upsets by Coach Nigro throughout the year.
So York will dribble it up and then naturally looking to get back in this one as Muhammad Guy comes in with a nice-looking block. However, this will stay with the Cardinals. It's going to be underneath the Bearcats basket. A minute 17 remaining. Carisi, corner three. That one nearly rattles in. And Muhammad Guy almost came away with that. Dublin able to deflect it out of his hands, but it goes out of bounds, and it's going to be on the Bearcats baseline Jamel Fair to inbound.
So get the ball to one of your ball handlers. No hurry, Michael.
So Muhammad Guy will do exactly that, Joe, and slow things up a bit as the Bearcats can hold. We'll see if York fouls. Likely not. Bajrami hands it off to Richards. Richards surveying the floor. And he's going to hand it off to Fair. Fair driving inside, working on Dublin. He's going to pull a long two. Offside iron, and it's going to be rebounded by Hartley Jr. So Hartley Jr. will push it up the distance of the court. He pulls the deep three. That one no good, and it's going back to the Bearcats with 32.3 remaining. And the Bearcats can just about hold this one, ultimately commit the shot clock violation unless York decides to foul. So Donilon with the football pass across the timeline, gives it off to Guy. Guy back up top to Richards. And it looks like the Bearcats are going to hold this one out.
Yeah, Brian, a chance for the Bearcats to kind of get a breath, but a well-deserved breath.
Absolutely, Joe, and a well-deserved victory here for the Bearcats, as this one did not come easy by any means. York came in with a ton of energy, and especially in that first half, a ton of back-and-forth basketball. So total credit to this Bearcat team for coming in the second half with a little bit of a revamped game plan, revamped energy, and it really proved the difference down the stretch here as they're coming away.
Yeah, Brian, if I may, a shout-out to Ray Rankus. May he rest in peace. Ray was the guy that kind of built this tradition here in Baruch in terms of men's basketball. And Coach Alisi has continued on as best he could. We all owe a lot to Coach Rankus, who taught us how to be better people on the court and off the court. Coach, this win is for you, and we got one more for you on Friday. So Bearcat Nation, great night for you. And again, keep your heads up, and you got a big night on Friday, but so much to be proud of.
Perfectly said, Joe. So appreciate the sign-off there, and appreciate everyone who's tuned in not only tonight but throughout this entire season of Baruch Bearcats broadcasting. So for Brian Flannery and Joe Stozer, we hope to see you all at the CUNYAC Championship on Friday.
Thank you for your loyalty, Bearcat Nation. We greatly appreciate it. Be safe.
Have a great night, everyone.